Hi everyone, my name's Tony Adenucci. I'm the new Assistant Director of Hockey here at Robert Morris University's Island Sports Center. I just wanted to say hello prior to our Mite to Squirt transition camp and provide a brief video to cover some of the topics that we're going to introduce on Monday so that both you camp participants and your parents can review, get a good sense of what it is that we're going to cover on day one, and that way we are just a little bit extra prepared for our classroom setting on Monday. So I'm going to transition the screen over to an electronic whiteboard. We're going to cover some things about the rink and maybe introduce some rule changes and some basic positioning, and then this will give us a good base to work with on Monday. So looking forward to seeing everybody on Monday, and have a great weekend. Okay, so far we've been playing cross ice hockey, and now that we're transitioning from Mite to Squirt, that dynamic is now going to change, and we are going to move into the full ice sheet. So obviously some of the things that have been a part of your games are going to stay, right? There's still going to be a lot of read and react situations, a lot of transition up and back, a lot of offense to defense quickly. But there are going to be some new things to think about, and the obvious thing first is all this new space. Okay, so we're going to get to use the full sheet as squirts, and with that new space comes some new experiences, but it also brings with it some new things to think about as far as the dimensions of the rink and the components of the rink. So if we let's start by just using the benches, right? We haven't used the benches before, so I'm going to go ahead and draw in the benches here. We'll call this the visitors bench, and this the home bench. Okay, so for the purposes of this discussion, let's say we are on the home team. Okay, so we're the home team. Now, the rink itself, let's say we are the home team, and we'll maybe ask you this in class on Monday, but which net are we going to shoot at? Okay, so if you chose this net down here, you'd be correct. Okay, but that's also a trick question. We're going to shoot on that net in the first period and the third period, and then in the second period, we're going to switch sides. We're going to shoot on this net down here, okay? But if we back it up, we'll go simple here. If we're shooting on this net down here, the rink itself is divided into 3 main zones, okay? And those zones, working from the offensive net backwards, those zones are called the offensive zone, the defensive zone, and the neutral zone. Okay, so between the blue lines, we call that the neutral zone because neither team's net is placed in that zone. Okay, so from this blue line on in, that would be considered the offensive zone. Okay, from this blue line on in towards our own net, that's going to be the defensive zone. Okay, and then again, the neutral zone is all that space in between the 2 blue lines through center ice. Okay, so we just want to make sure we understand which direction we're shooting and which direction we are defending and trying to keep the puck out of our own net. Okay, so if we get rid of those things, now that we've covered those zones, we'll have a good base of kind of which direction we're going to operate. Okay. Okay. The other thing we want to talk about is the penalty box. Okay, so we are actually going to get into some penalty situations as we go into squirt hockey. And I know you had some penalties there in your Mite experiences, but now you're going to have to go and sit in the box and serve those 2 minutes until potentially those 2 minutes are up or the other team scores one in your net. Okay, so where are the penalty boxes? Well, that's going to change depending upon which rink we're on. Okay, so for camp, we're going to be in the Colonial rink, the Clearview Arena. Okay, so in that particular rink, the penalty boxes are actually located across the ice from the benches. So we've got the visitors box right here. We've got the scorekeepers area right here behind the red line there. And then we've got the home team's penalty box there. So they are on the opposite side of the benches. Now, if we were on Olympic, which we will not be next week, but if we were on Olympic for your games, and it's like that in a lot of other rinks around Pittsburgh, the penalty boxes may actually be in between the two benches. Okay, so that's something you'll have to note before you play your games in the upcoming season. Okay. Some of the other different things about the rink itself. Now we're going to actually be able to use one of the 5 face-off circles and or one of the 9 face-off dots. Okay, so you'll see there's the main circle where we're going to start every period right here at center ice. And then we've got 2 face-off circles in the offensive zone, 2 face-off circles in the defensive zone. Okay, we're going to cover some face-off stuff as we move through the week, but we probably will not get to that on day 1, but I want to make sure we understand that those are there and why they're there. And then you'll also see on the face-off dots here in the neutral zone, we're going to use those for some different scenarios that we can discuss throughout camp. Okay. Okay, so when we get rid of those, now we're going to talk about terminology as far as teaching positioning. We're going to have to understand the left side versus the right side. Okay, so again, our home bench is there. So we are attacking, again, we're attacking this net down here. So if we are going that direction, let's say we've got a line separating the ice into 2 pieces long ways. Okay, so if our bench is on this side, if the puck is on this side of this black line, the divider line, what side of the rink is that? And if you said that's the left side, you'd be correct. Okay, and then if we move that puck to the other side closest to the benches, that's going to be the right side. Okay, so understanding which side left and right is going to be important for positioning and then learning different concepts and learning different positioning from the coaches this coming week. Okay, so we will review that in class because that's a very critical component. That's an important thing for us to know. Okay, now the 2 basic rule changes that are going to be introduced in Squirt hockey are going to be the big ones. They're offsides and they are icing. Okay, so in cross ice we don't have those. It's more free flowing and the play continues pretty smoothly no matter where that puck is in your cross ice area. However, now that we're using the big sheet, we're going to have to introduce offsides and icing. So to do that, let's go through a scenario for offsides. Okay, so for offsides, again, we're the home team. Let's say we have player 1 has the puck. Okay. Player 2 is our teammate, and we are attacking this net still. Okay. So let's say it's the first or the 3rd period. So offsides, you'll notice the 2 blue lines on the ice. Okay. Okay, so the two blue lines are going to help us determine when the puck is either on or offside. So as we're skating towards this net with the puck, okay, we need to make sure that the puck carrier, the player with the puck, crosses over that blue line fully with the puck before any other player on their team crosses that line towards the net that we're shooting on. Okay? So if player 2 finds themselves ahead of their teammate who has the puck, and they find themselves skating over this blue line, okay, player 2, before that puck carrier crosses the blue, that is going to be an example of offsides. Okay, so I will show you now a quick little drill that we'll do probably on Monday that'll help us remember and learn what offsides is. So let's just say we're going to have a line here on the half wall with some pucks. We're going to have a line here on the nearest face-off dot without pucks. And as we continue up the ice, we're going to be skating together at the same time, okay? And we're going to be exchanging some small passes as we move up the rink. So we're going to work on some passing skills. And then once we get over this red line, we're going to try to get the puck carrier to be the one that's closest to the boards. Okay, and as we come over this line, there's going to be a coach here, and that coach is going to be one of the linesmen. And as we go attack this net down here, that linesman's going to call both offsides and onsides to make sure that we start to understand what that concept is. Okay, so we'll make sure that player 1 has the puck, player 2 does not, and we're going to make sure player 1 enters that zone before player 2, and then we'll continue on. This player's going to drive and take a shot. Player 2 is then going to head to the net and look for a rebound. Okay, so that's the basics of offsides. There's going to be more to discuss there, but that's what we'll start with to make sure we are all ready to go for offsides for our classroom time. Okay. The next thing we'll need to discuss after I get rid of this stuff is icing. Okay, so the blue lines are in play for offsides, and now the red line right in the middle of the ice. Okay, that is going to determine whether or not we have icing. Okay, so icing, let's set this up again. So we're still going to attack that net. Okay, let's say that one of our players on our team, player 1, ends up getting the puck. Okay, and for whatever reason, they try to make a good hard play with the puck, and the puck ends up going all the way down the rink, okay, and crosses over the goal line down in this zone, and the puck was shot from behind the red line. That would be an example of an icing. Okay, now something else to think about as well. We are still going to attack that net. Okay, we have the puck. It's on our defensive zone. So remember, this is the D zone. It's on the defensive zone side of the red line, so the side that our bench is on. And we try to make a pass to one of our teammates that's ahead of us. We make that pass, and because this player is not going to be able to get that puck, and it's going to cross over the goal line again, because we started with the puck, that pass started on this side of the red line, that is going to be another example of icing because our teammate did not touch it on the offensive side of that red line. Okay. Okay, so just some of those basics for offsides and icing. There's going to be some more things to talk about there, but that's that's a good starting point to make sure we are ready for our classroom. Okay, and then again, we're going to go through some actual positions, okay, as far as offense and defense. And I'm just going to draw them here just so we have an idea of left and right. Okay, so again, if we cut the rink into two pieces, try that again. So we'll cut the rink into two pieces. That's going to help us determine our positioning again. So just to be simple here, we have 3 forwards on the ice most of the time, right? And that's going to be our left wing, because they're going to be on the left side if we're attacking that net. So this is the left side of the ice. We're going to have our right wing start on the other side of the ice. And then our center, as you can probably guess, is going to start in the center of the rink. Okay? Then we're going to have a left defenseman on the left side of the ice. So the left defenseman is going to play behind those forwards, closer to our net. And the right defenseman is going to play behind those forwards on the right side of the ice, closer to our net. Okay? We'll talk a lot more about defensive zone coverage, offensive zone play, some stuff that's going to happen as we transition through the neutral zone with those positions, as well as learning what is going to happen on some different face-offs, okay? But for today, I just want to give you a quick little look into those positions and where they're going to be typically on the ice. Okay. I think that's going to do it for now. There's going to be a lot more to cover, I think, in our classroom settings and obviously on the ice. But that gives us a pretty good starting point on how the rink is divided, how that new big open space is going to be utilized and set up for us to play, where the benches are, where the penalty boxes are, what offsides means, what icing means, and then a quick little positional setup to see where each position is going to start out as if we were going to start the game or start one of the next periods. Okay. Okay, so go ahead and watch this once or twice and get a sense of understanding of those topics. If you've got questions, we'll talk about them in the classroom and on the ice. And again, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys, to meeting everybody, to getting to know everybody, to have some fun and teach you as much as possible this week so that we're comfortable and ready to go and play some squirt hockey. All right, well, we'll see you soon.